anyone has questions, I'll scroll through and see if I find any questions. But raise your digital hand. I'll call on you guys. You can ask them any questions you guys have around what they're doing with their deals, capital raising, anything like that. And then we'll go into the breakout sessions after Q&A. Let me see if I saw any questions in here. Charles, you were typing away in the chat, man. Go ahead.
Hey guys, how you doing? Yeah, I'm digging into triple nets right at this moment, trying to build a base for my company. So I've got money to do on different things, and it's great to it looked like a great way to build that base. You know, have that mailbox money coming in, have that foundation. The hang on, let me get rid of this call. The it sounds like from what I missed the first part, and I apologize. I'm going to have to go back and watch the recording, but you guys are the ones that are buying this Texas Roadhouse and Chipotle in Elizabeth City, North Carolina. You guys are the ones that are building those and then turning around and selling them.
Correct. So that's what I was referencing. I was trying to remember who posted that. So when you see something like that that's being marketed by a CB, a Jones Lang LaSalle, whatever, whoever, you're in, where are you at in North Carolina?
Yeah, Elizabeth
Yeah.
City over in
So
Eastern North Carolina.
so you probably know the guys at Core Properties then. That's who we work with. There are local reps out in the North Carolina and South Carolina market. We work with those guys to find the opportunities for Texas Roadhouse, Chipotle, Dutch Bro, like those tenants that like those properties that you see for sale at a 4.75 to a 5.5 cap rate. We're working like a year and a half to 2 years before that,
Mm.
identifying those sites, getting those approved through REC, which is Real Estate Committee on the corporate side. And we're working our relationships to identify, map out the market, see where all the gaps in the marketplace are for them. And then we're tying up those properties, getting the municipal approvals, doing the construction on site, and then getting the certificates of occupancy, and working with our investment brokerage teams at SRS or CB or any of the big brokerage houses, and letting them take those to market. So what you posted there, we would be the
Mhm.
ones selling those.
Okay. Okay. I get it. I
We're
get it.
doing all the front
Um,
end add value development.
yeah. We're like I say, I'm just I'm starting out in this. I just retired. I retired from the military about 10 years ago, and then I've just retired from the VA. So I'm in the beginning stages of this.
So,
And
so a
really
lot of
trying
those
to build.
properties, a lot of those
Sir?
properties, Charles, the buyers for these types of properties have a tendency of being 1031 exchange buyers. We call them, say a high net worth individual that's like a dentist or a doctor that, or an attorney that wants hands off, right? They want hands off management, but they want to own real estate that's A+ location, and we call them coupon clippers, right? What they're weighing their options against is if they're going to buy a Chipotle for $3.5 million, they want it to get a higher return for them than letting that money sit in the bank account where it's only getting 1.5% to 1.5% at most now. I mean, the high yield interest accounts, you can only put in like a maximum of like 40 or 50K. So they'd rather have
Yeah.
their money sit in something like that that's earning 4.5, 5.5% return annually, and they can take all the depreciation against their annual income at the end of the year. So there's a double benefit for them. And so
Yeah.
that's
If you know any of those net worth guys that want to, hide some money like that, send them my way
That's
because
what we're trying to, those are the ones we're trying to find too, and tell them that you can get in on the front end, and then we can figure out a way to work something out with you where you can be the end buyer.
Yeah, well, and that's one of the things I like I say, I'm just trying to build the foundation for my business. So, and I did get in, with the Grant Cardone group, and I've done the training under Rod Creef and stuff like that, and multifamily interests me, but I'm starting to find that the commercial side of it is kind of interesting, a little bit more interesting, and a little less troublesome. face it, if you've got 4 tenants, it's a lot easier than 52 tenants, or 200 tenants. There's a big thing on doors, but when you can get a shopping center, a Lowe's, that's streaming across your website right now. When you can get Lowe's and get that into a shopping mall with several good tenants that are going to be reliable, I mean, you're going to have a lot less issues than say an apartment complex with overflowing toilets and leaky roofs. So
Have you
this is
ever
starting
heard
to
of
appeal me a lot more. I'm also in with the Hero guys with the and looking at it's trying to build fund of funds because it makes me nervous going out and trying to purchase properties or leases or anything like that when I don't have the cash and saying, oh yeah, go ahead and send them an LOI and then hope the cash shows up. It's just that kind of makes me nervous. So
yeah.
I'd rather have the cash in hand or at least a good good assumption of the cash in hand before I go out and send somebody an LOI. So,
And
but yeah.
we wanted to structure it to where we had both sides. So that's where, Bryant being the fund manager and raising the capital, I could go from the development side and know that we had capital from different sources and we could, sort of choose your own adventure in regards to how we wanted to structure the financing.
Uh-huh.
Based on where we're at, where our capital, accounts were, what investors we had available to us at the moment, things like that. If you're trying to get into triple net and you're still fairly new, I would recommend that you, like I'd mentioned in here, look up CCIM, which is Certified Commercial Investment Member. I've had my CCIM certification for 25 years. It's one of the best institutions here in the US. It's global at this point, based out of Chicago. But that's where you can get a lot of education on commercial real estate from a core standpoint, as far as how to understand underwriting and financial analysis to market analysis. They have one whole core curriculum course that is all about leasing, which takes you through every different type of lease. But there's a lot of like online. I got mine 20 years ago, where you had to fly to whatever city it was based in and go spend 5 days taking a course 8 hours a day. I had to basically put everything on pause for a week to go take these courses. But now they've got it all online through Zoom, and you can do it over like 1 month for 2 hours, three days a week. But I would highly recommend, if this is what you want to do, that you go through and build that foundation of education. And they have a lot of individual courses. Like they'll put out a class, and these instructors, are guys that I've known for 20 plus years. Some of our closest friends here, like main instructors for the institution here in Phoenix. And so like I just saw a course that was all about ground lease structures and understanding ground leases. Like that is a major component to single tenant net lease. Is a lot of a lot of people will come in and do ground leases. What is a ground lease? That could be one of the easiest things for you to get started in. There's no construction component to it. The tenant handles everything. You handle the entitlements and make sure that the tenant's able to do what they want to do on the property. The other thing from that standpoint is really start to understand how the triple net leases are structured. And part of it is you can't learn some of these things for specific tenants without doing deals, right? So like if you reached out to Bryant and said, hey, I want to figure out how to get involved with you guys, we're not trying to say, hey, invest in our fund and then just go shut up and sit in the corner. That's not, that's really not how we're structured. Our whole thing is about, Cody, one of our partners, has got one of the largest real estate education companies in the country. And so, Clever Investor is all about educating people. So part of what we're doing with the content is trying to educate people and help people understand, because we realize that, hey, Charles, if I help you and you come across something and you got questions, or you're like, shoot, I think this is good, but I'm not sure. Who are you going to call? Not Ghostbusters. You're going to call
Not
us.
a lot of help.
Yeah, you're going to call us, and you're going to, be like, hey guys, I found this. It's intriguing, but I'm not sure what's intriguing about it. And I can take a look at it. Bryant mentioned this early on. When we first started, he would send me corners and I'd tell him, Bryant, we looked at it 3 months ago. It's a pass. He'd be like, how? It just got a sign on it. Yeah, we knew that they were closing like 3 months ago. Like it's just, when you've been doing it long enough,
Yeah.
things happen. And so I highly recommend that you look into CCIM. Find what you can on learning about triple net leases. I'm just gonna be honest with you, there's not a lot out there.
I've been looking.
That's why we started the YouTube channel, because there's just not a lot. Like,
Yeah.
Because they're in the niches, right?
Yeah.
If there's any other questions.
So
Nice to meet you, Charles.
Nice to meet you too. Thanks a lot, guys. And I will be contacting you.
awesome.
Really good questions. Very cool. All right. We probably have time for if anyone else has another question. If not, I'm going to throw you guys into your breakout sessions. You guys can all network, hang out, talk a little bit. Anyone else have any questions for our fantastic guests? I'm going to throw you guys in your breakout sessions. But before we do, we're going to take a group picture. So Bob hit it right on the head. We flex around here. So everyone turn on your cameras. Isabel, if you can put us back in. Yeah, perfect. In gallery view. Awesome. All right. Cameras on. Everyone look all pretty. It's your New Year's pose. So we flex around here. All right, everyone flex. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Awesome.